Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Buffalo Bills versus New York Giants Week 9 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there will always be some differences each week because it's a weekly collection. However, there will always be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you're new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So starting with this game between the Bills and the Jets, starting with the NFL Stat Basic comparisons, which essentially looks at all of the team data, looking at the turnover percentage on offense, the ability to prevent sacks, the ability to put points on the board, the ability to prevent points from being put on the board, the ability to create turnovers on defense, create sacks on defense, create interceptions on defense, and of course special teams and all the other sort of data. And based on the early returns, based on all the data up to this point this year, the Bills are pretty heavily favored in this particular matchup. And let's get into some reasons why. So first off, a big reason why the Bills are favored in this game is because of their turnover ratio. Very, very low turnover ratio on this Bills team. They don't throw a lot of picks. They don't create a lot of fumbles. And those are things that are very conducive to winning football games. Some would say pretty conservative offense, and I would somewhat agree with that. But even if you have a conservative offense, if you're doing the sort of defense-heavy, don't turn the football over, grind it out type of team, those teams can win football games with that strategy, and that's pretty much a big driver for the Buffalo Bills this year. Now, if I did have one criticism of the Bills this year, which has been consistent, they've allowed way too many sacks. Right now, they're 13.39 in terms of sacks allowed compared to the rest of the NFL. But in terms of sack percentage, however, the Jets are not too good when it comes to that either. And it just hasn't really bothered the Bills as much as it probably should or shouldn't. It's really hard to tell. But that's one of the kind of criticisms on offense is they just allow way too many sacks, or they take too many sacks, which definitely can create inefficiencies with the offense. But another big factor for the Bills is offensive score percentage. The Bills are heavy into that particular metric, 76.54. So, and this metric essentially deals with how often do you score on each individual offensive drive. So how many drives lead to points, basically, is what this is about. And the Bills are very good at that, while the Jets are not so good at that. The Jets are below average compared to every team since 1998. So this is one area where the Bills are favored because of that particular matchup. On top of that, when you look at defensive data, so defensive offensive score percentage, Bills are favored there as well. They prevent more points on defense than the Jets. The Bills also create more turnovers than the Jets. So the Jets they do really well in terms of not allowing a lot of turnovers on offense, and they also do well in terms of creating turnovers on defense, which is another major factor that helps them out. Sack percentage wise, in terms of creating sacks on defense, neither the Bills or the Jets are very good in that particular aspect. So I think that'll be kind of a non-factor in this game. Interceptions, though, interception percentage is heavier with the Bills. Again, they create more turnovers. And then when we get to special teams, the Bills are also favored here pretty heavily. The Bills have a much better punt return average in terms of yards per punt return. The Bills are also very good when it comes to kick return yardage per kick. And defensively, very good. The Bills are very decent in terms of preventing punt return yardage. Kick return yardage is more even in terms of defensive kick return yardage. It's kind of even between the two teams. Field goal percentage is much higher with the Bills, as is extra point percentage, but punting average is more so with the Jets. But based on the overall landscape of things, the Bills have the better offense, the Bills have the better defense, and they also have the better special teams. So all three phases, the Bills just have lots of advantages over the Jets, and that is pretty much why they are so heavily favored in this game. Now when we get to some micro management or micro data points, so looking at completion percentage data, This is the completion percentage split data between first, second, and third down. Bills offense versus Jets defense. And this is one area where the Jets, I think, will have some success. The Jets are pretty good in terms of creating havoc in terms of the second down situations and first down situations. They're a little bit better than the Bills offense in that regard. So this is definitely an area where I think the Jets will have some success. Then, of course, you look at the Jets offense versus Bills defense in terms of completion percentage, and this more so favors the Jets offense over the Bills in first, second, and third down situations. And you look at running downs or rushing downs, the Bills offense versus Jets defense, and the Jets actually have the advantage here. The Jets have a very strong run defense that has really ramped up and gotten better each week. And the Bills definitely can run the football, but I do think that this is going to be a game where the Jets may have some success slowing down the run game of the Bills because of how much success they've been having. Then, of course, you look at Jets offense versus Bills defense in terms of rushing downs, and in this particular area, I'd say it's pretty evenly matched. Pretty even on second down situations. Third down situations more so favors the Bills, but first down situations favor the Jets. So I would say this is pretty even in this respect with the Jets. I think the Jets will have some success running the football against this Bills defense. Is the basic thing to say. But there are some areas where the Bills will have more success in these particular areas. On top of that, when you look at passing down situations, so this is the Bills passing offense versus Jets passing defense. In this particular area, the Bills are favored in first and third down situations. Then, of course, you get to the Jets offense versus Bills defense in terms of passing situations. And in this particular area, the Bills are actually favored in terms of first down and second down situations. Then we look at sack rate on various downs for the Bills versus the Jets. And the Bills have a pretty decent advantage over the Jets on first down, slight advantage on second down, and a pretty sizable advantage on third down, which I think will benefit them pretty well. Then, of course, you look at sack rate for the Jets versus Bills on first down and third down situations. In these two particular areas, the Jets are favored, on first down and third down situations. Then, of course, you look at interception ratio for the Bills versus Jets, and this more so favors the Bills. Again, the Bills don't really turn the football over a ton, and I don't think that will be a major factor in this game per se. And then lastly, you look at the Jets offense versus Bills defense, and this is another area where I think it will factor into the Bills because the Bills are very good in terms of creating turnovers on first down situations, second down situations, and third down situations. And the Jets are not terrible when it comes to turnovers, but they do have their weaknesses, and I think those weaknesses will shine in this particular game. So overall, my general thoughts on this football game, I still kind of side Bills here. I think there is a substantial amount of data at this point, at the midpoint of the season, to say that the Bills have the better offense, the Bills have the better defense, and the Bills have the better special teams. And the only real matchup that will be interesting to see the dynamics of this game is the run defense. The Jets do have a better rush defense compared to the Bills' rushing offense, and because of that, I do think that that's an interesting dynamic to see how it transpires, because it's just an interesting thing to kind of see what happens, because that's definitely something that could factor into things, because people think of the Bills as a very kind of more run-heavy, defensive-minded team, and if the Jets do have success stopping the run, then that could potentially create some imbalances on their offense and lead to some turnovers and lead to mistakes, basically. But that has yet to be seen. But overall, I would say this definitely it fits more in with the Bills in this particular matchup, and that is why I'm going to go Bills here. And of course, you can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.